I want to ask you what part of the country you come from.
I originate from Canada. I guess where that is.
Oh, I know where Canada is. I've been there myself.
Well, travel for a slave.
Well, this film was incredible and incredibly profound as well. Partly because it taught me something I didn't know about slavery. Did this film teach you anything about slavery you didn't know before?
It taught me a lot about slavery that I didn't know before. You know, I'd kind of assumed that I knew rather a lot about slavery, but what I didn't know was really, and strangely, it sort of seems like one of the most important things to know about slavery is how it felt from within inside the experience of being a slave. And I guess that's one of the things about Solomon Northup's book that is that makes it very kind of rare. And certainly as a film, I'd never seen a film like that before, where which just sort of discusses the experience from within the experience and all of the things that then means, you know, and how much that kind of opens up. For example, I never thought or considered, I always thought of slavery as like one sort of amorphous thing. But actually, when you're inside the experience, you recognize the sort of the massive distinctions between, say, cutting timber and picking cotton and cutting sugarcane, and how those three different plantations and the sort of the industrial work on those three different plantations create completely different psychological and physical atmospheres, and those sorts of details of place can only really be discovered from somebody who's not looking at it objectively, not looking at it from the outside, but somebody who's really sort of deep within the experience.
Solomon Northup is an expert player on the violin.
I was born a free man, lived with my family in New York.
Be good for your mother.
Until the day I was deceived.
To Solomon.
Kidnapped, sold into slavery.
Some of the film is quite violent, obviously, quite horrific. Does your relationship with the other actors make that a great deal easier to film on set?
I don't know if it has much to do with your one's personal relationship somehow with the other actors. I think it's I think as actors you trust each other, and you want to kind of go to different places, and you are aware that everybody's very passionate about what they're trying to do. And it was fortunate in this film, though not necessarily necessary, that we all got on very well. And we'd spend time out in New Orleans, and we'd really get to know each other, and you know, on the weekends and stuff have a great time, you know. But I think just sort of knuckling down to the work and the technical work of acting, and just required a sort of level of kind of attention and professionalism in those sequences.
Well, boy, how you feel now?
My name is Solomon Northup. I'm a free man, and you have no right whatsoever to detain me.
You're no free man. You're nothing but a Georgia runaway.
Steve McQueen had a lot of nice things to say about you a few moments ago, that you were always in his mind for the role from the word go, and he was incredibly impressed with your performance. What was it like working with him? Was he a meticulous director to get every aspect of and detail down to a T? Yeah,
he was definitely somebody who wanted to explore every avenue and to explore every part of the story and every part of the sort of performance. And he is a director that allows actors, who creates an environment where actors can feel very free to explore and to express, and where there are kind of no mistakes and there's nothing to be kind of concerned about. You just need to be sort of engaged with it. And so he's very encouraging in that way and demanding in that way, and he really strives for, you know, everybody wants to give 100%, you know, I mean, why else would you do it? But it's great to have somebody who articulates that, you know, and constantly articulates the need for that, and he's definitely somebody who does that, and I think it makes him an incredible director to work with.
That's scripture. The condition of your laborers, it's all wrong.
They're my property.
You say that with pride.
I say it as fact.
Speak!
Man does how he pleases with his property.
You come here.
I say come here!
Was it important in a movie like this that you had superb actors such as Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Fassbender playing roles that weren't simply evil people, but people who were committing horrendous things? Is that important for a movie like this?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that it's important that all the characters are kind of three-dimensional, that there aren't just sort of two-dimensional characters in this, and certainly what Solomon wrote in his book. He wrote these people because, in a way, especially Benedict, who plays Ford, and Michael Fassbender, who plays Epps, are two characters who, two people who Solomon got to know very well, and writes about them in incredible detail. And these are people who, through this period, learn about each other and understand each other, and who later on he talks about in this way. So to have actors who really embrace all of that and bring the kind of three-dimensional nature to the project is terrific.
I was a free man. I'm not a slave.